Warm welcome to all of you, my dear friends. I'm gonna talk something very important, and that is the evolution of technology is actually taking place across the world very fastly. And see, I have been actually taking on just over a week. I have just discussed about artificial intelligence, not on this platform, but I am just trying to just talk about some overarching principles of the technology. And let me just explain about what is artificial intelligence and what is the difference between two things, humans imagination, humans capability, and artificial intelligence capability. There is a sharp differentiation between the two. So let me just tell you, artificial means man-made, that has been produced by human, that is artificial. And if you talk about intelligence, the ability to actually think about the logic and investigate, interpret, analyze, and just reaching to the conclusion. So this is the same ability between the humans and machines that has been invented. But see the tremendous scope that is there. A person, an individual cannot process the large amount of data, and there is a difference between the two. This has been invented by the humans. It has not been invented by any other source. But there is a sharp differentiation. That differentiation means that a human has not the capacity to process the massive data, and that refers to the invention and quest of this technology is to be able to transform the massive data, and then they interpret them and then analyze them, and then make the decisions and predictions that what is going to happen. If you see, across all the fields and domains, whether it is pharmaceutical companies or robotic surgeries or self-driving cars or government sectors, even in courts, if you talk about supreme courts and high courts, even in local courts and district courts as well, they are actually just streamlining this technology very fast. And government has been doing this when the pandemic hit India, and since that point of time from 2020, it was the quest of various research to be able to just streamline the technology so that there could be prospects of development and inclusion, because India is a diverse country. There are various kind of people, and some people are highly educated, some are not as much, and some people are actually not at all educated or literated. So we have to understand this thing very clearly, that this difference is to process the data. Artificial intelligence capacity is to process the data, massive data, that cannot be actually performed or carried out by the human beings, an individual. And therefore there is a difference between the two. If the data, once you have to do whatever data is being fed to the machine, to the artificial intelligence, any machine learning process, if you feed the data, if the data is not fed properly and it is biased, because where are you getting the data from? You are getting the data from the sensors, from the media, from the NGOs, the different surveys. If they are biased means does not mean being prejudiced. It means that the inconsistency in the data. Who is representing the data, and what at what time, and what is the demography, because India is a diverse place. So predicting certainly about the outcomes, it would be very hard to just do that. Next thing is that this is the difference between humans cannot have no ability to just process the large amount of data without the help of the technology and artificial intelligence. On the other hand, if you see, the machine is able to predict the massive data, interpret it, investigate it, analyze it, and ultimately take the decisions. So but if the data is biased, has not been gathered by actually the is not proper, that you are feeding to the machine learning process in the artificial intelligence, then you cannot predict the outcome appropriately. and logically, and there will be diverse outcomes and results. And see the algorithms, if you talk about mathematical algorithms, vastly implied in that particular area, and therefore this shapes the kind of trends, the kind of patterns. So this kind of thinking is very very only difference is that this, and on the other hand, your machine or computer has no ability of emotional intelligence, and therefore there is a lot of implications, and suppose it's because these days coming time would be full of catastrophes, like pandemic hit in 2020 because environmental degradation has taken place very very rapidly, very fastly, and the unconcerned and insensitive behavior of the humans towards the this planet and ecology and the ecosystem is disastrous and very very calamitous. So one has to be very very careful that see the tremendous scope in artificial intelligence, that is robotic surgery and self-driven cars. So through the computer vision, what are the predictions? This is humans' imaginations to be able to reach to the transcendental states where you see multiple things are there. If you open your Chat GPT, Google, and other things, so you'll find that. And on the other hand, see I have been talking about for a long period of time about the affliction and implications of human by cyber criminals, and these things are actually very very if you have developed a habit. So in education I learned experiential learning, hands-on learning, and the David Cobbs divided into different parts: concrete, then observation, and then these kind of analysis, and there are different dimensions of that. So machine cannot observe you, it predicts according to the data that you feed, and therefore there is a difference, and that difference has to be understood in India as far as this diverse country where inclusion is at risk, where if you've seen, because I'm thinking about the educational sectors, and you cannot move ahead without this technology because that is the need of the hour, and that therefore if we circumvent this, there will be traumatic experiences in coming future. That's what is very very important. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.